Hey, Dr. Keith Johnson, America's #1 confidence coach. I'm so excited. Last night I got my hog after 2 weeks of hunting. Man, I'm telling you, I finally did it thanks to the preacher in the wild, Roger Webb. Man, he stuck with me and I stuck with it. We were persistent. I continued almost every night to see hogs, but it was like they were seeing me and ignore, as soon as they would see me, smell me, they'd go in a different direction where I could never get a shot. But listen, last night was different. Last night we changed up our strategy. You see, I teach all the time that if something's not working, don't quit. But sometimes you just need to change your strategy because you can't keep on doing the same thing over and over and expect results. So last night, the preacher in the wild, Roger Webb, and I, we changed up our strategy, and instead of hanging out by the feeder, what we did is we got some corn and he put some Kool-Aid on it. Now, I don't know, I like Kool-Aid, but that's what he did. He put Kool-Aid on the corn, and we put it out in the field because we noticed a pattern. We studied a pattern. Now, one of the things that I realized about hog hunting is that you got to know the weakness of your prey. The weakness of the hog, it has a lot of strengths. They can hear really well. They can smell really well. They can't see too good, but they can hear and smell. They can smell like 15 miles away. And so what I learned was that the weakness of the hog is its hunger. It always thinks, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. So because of that, the hog thinks hunger, and the hog has another weakness, is they're animals of habit. They take the same trails, they go in the same way. So Roger and I, we came up with another idea. We knew we had studied them, we knew where they were going, and we decided to get in front of them instead of behind them at the feeder. So we adjusted our strategy, changed the corn, changed the area that we would shoot from, and last night, man, they started to walk across that field, and we saw them there. I took the gun. Here's the gun that I used. I think this is called a 243. And it was pitch black out there, and on the end of this I had a little green light, and as soon as I was able to see those hogs with the binoculars, then I got in position and hit my green light, and I saw the hog, and he started to act like he was spooked and was going to run away. I zoomed in on it, and bam, I shot. And after that, I had no clue because smoke came out of the end of this gun. The green light was shining. And I was like, oh, Roger said, did you get him? I'm like, I have no clue. I can't see. And this is so loud, I didn't warn him I was going to shoot. Because in my mind, I thought, you'll miss 100% of the shots you never take in life. So one thing I was not going to do while I was sitting there, I'm like, I'm going to shoot at this thing. Because he wasn't angled quite right. He was angled more towards me, tilted just a little bit. And I'm like, he's not perfect like Roger told me. He said, make sure he's straight on, parallel with you. But I knew he was going to run away. So I'm like, man, I'm going to take this shot. And I took the shot. And we went down to try to find the pig. And guess what? It was nowhere to be found. So I went home last night. And I'm like, man, I know I had this scope right on that pig, right in the area that I knew that I needed to hit. And I tossed and turned all night long, man. I couldn't get out of my mind the picture of that pig looking at me and seeing his eyes and seeing him look at me. And I just thought, man, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Isn't that typical? I'm the confidence coach. And then all night long, I'm self-doubting myself. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? And early this morning, I got a call from Roger. They said, hey, somebody saw a dead hog. laying out at the end of the property. The hog went the opposite way when you hit it than what we thought it would have, and it was pitch black. We couldn't see anything. And sure enough, we came back, and here was the spot he made it to. And I hit him. Oh, I hit him right here. Now, that wasn't textbook, but I missed him. I should have hit him about right here because that's where his heart was. But understand, he was tilted toward me just a little bit. So the preacher in the wild, he told me, he said, I just accomplished what most hunters can never do, to shoot a hog in the pitch black dark of night from a long distance using a green light. He said most of them can't do that, but I, with confidence, see, I told you, I went into that thing, I had confidence, I'm going to take the shot, and I hit the mark. And let me tell you something, my friend, it's what God wants you for your life. Sin is defined as missing the mark, but God doesn't want you to miss the mark. Jesus came and died on the cross so that mankind doesn't have to miss the mark anymore. He came and died so in life, He give us life and life more abundantly so we can start hitting the mark. And let me tell you, when you hit the mark, let me tell you, that little pitter-patter in your heart that says, yes, yes. That's what God wants us to live in life, to hit our mark, to achieve our goals, to achieve our dreams. And so I want to thank Preacher in the Wild. My first hog that I ever got in my whole life, I want to thank Preacher in the Wild. Go to his website, check him out. He's mixing hunting and God together. All I got to say, people think I'm a city slicker, but they don't realize that I was born and raised in the country. And a country boy, I still got it in me. A country boy can survive. This is Dr. Keith Johnson, America's #1 confidence coach. Go check me out at keithjohnson.tv and get some confidence products so you can start hitting the mark in your hunting, in your personal life, in your money, in your leadership, and in every area. With confidence, you can do great things. God bless. Hey, this is where I was setting when I got my hog, my first hog. And so if you look out there, it's about 65 yards. We walked it off. And they were right at the very edge of the field. And I came around, and I was setting here, and it was pitch black, okay? And I got my gun in position, and I looked through the scope, and I couldn't see anything, zilch. And I knew because Preacher in the Wild told me, he said, listen, you're gonna have to use this this flashlight, and it has a green light on the end, because sometimes the moon would come up and I could see a little bit, but at the time it was pitch black. So I hit the green switch once, and I looked down and I still couldn't see him. I hit the green switch twice. If you hit it twice, it shines even brighter. And as soon as I hit that green switch, I looked down at my scope, and I saw that the pig was facing me directly. So my next thought in my mind, Roger taught me, the place of kill is right in the brain. You shoot right in the center, right there. But he told me, he said, you're an amateur, so don't. It takes a real pro to hit him right in the head and kill him instantly by hitting him in the brain. So I thought, okay, I got to wait for him to turn a little bit. But I could tell he was acting like he was spooked by my light. So he turned just slightly. And then I knew, I said, I've got to take this shot right here. I knew it wasn't perfect because Roger taught me straight parallel is perfect shot. But I was like, well, you're not going to hit a target if you don't take some sort of shot. And so I zeroed it in. I was aiming right toward I was able from the angle to aim just above the hog's leg there. And I was aiming right at it, and I pulled the trigger, and poof, it went off. And as soon as I pulled the trigger, man, there was smoke all around the front of the barrel, and I couldn't see a thing. I mean, after I shot, I couldn't see a thing at all. And Roger said, "Did you hit it?" And I'm like, "I have no clue, but I know that I zeroed in on it on the scope." And of course, after that, we went out, and we couldn't see any blood anywhere. And so at the moment, we thought I'd missed the hog. And man, I'm telling you, I remember getting in my car, driving back home last night, and I was just like beating myself up. I said, "Man, why didn't you wait longer? Man, maybe you got too much in a hurry. Maybe you got spooked instead of the hog getting spooked." And I was beating myself up. And here's what happened. The minute I was thinking that, I saw my phone ring. It was Roger, and he was telling me, he said, "Don't be hard on yourself." He said, "You had a lot of disadvantages. It was pitch black. You never shot this particular gun before. You had a lot, you know, most hunters aren't able to do this at nighttime. They hunt them during the day." And so that cheered me up. I'm like, okay. Then I had a thought. I'll be honest with you. I thought, I'm not going to go back out anymore, man. These things, man, are just too hard. And I'm driving back. I'm like, no, confidence. Confidence produces persistence. You see, when you're insecure, when you doubt, you self-doubt, you don't persist. You just give up, and you just become passive and say, well, maybe I'll just never get a hog. But I said, no, I'm the confidence coach, man. I said, no, I'm going to go back. So it was a test. And Roger was texting me this morning. I said, man, I couldn't sleep last night. And I kept thinking about that shot. And I swore I had it on. I swore I did what was right. I rehearsed it in my mind over and over again. And he said, well, you want to go tonight? I'm like, yep. So I overcame my self-doubt, you see. And it was about 10:30 in the morning. Phone rings, it's Roger. And he's like, you ready for some good news? I'm like, yeah. He said they found your hog. He was dead. He ran the opposite way, what we thought he might run if we hit him. Because there was absolutely no blood where I shot. 0 blood. All the way to where he landed, we couldn't find any blood. And so I'm like, I thought he was like trying to pull one over on me. But yep. So we rushed out here today, and here we are. I got my hog. That's the story. And thank you for watching.